verse number 26. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. As we have been discussing, especially when Arjuna asked the question, verse number 21, Ke lingehi trin gunan etan atitah bhavati prabho kimacharah katham chetan trin gunan nivartate. So, three questions he asked. The first question was, so what is the linga of gunatita? So, indication. Then second thing came achara. So, in short, that we have discussed that how the person addresses one's own self, one's own body-mind complex, including both physical and subtle body. Then achara means how the person looks at the surroundings, how the person responds to the surroundings. This is in short. We have seen in details many classes. Let us not break our head. Now the third question comes, which is very tricky question. So that is called sadhana. So when it says sadhana, look, so what is the sadhana? So that means looks like Arjuna is confusing us. Why I say Arjuna is confusing us? That means maybe Arjuna is like one of any other student. Because in the verse of 19 and 20, very clearly Lord Krishna highlighted, Nanya gunebhya kartaram yada drashthanupashyati gunebhyascha parambeti madbhavam sadhigachyati. And also, guna netan titya trin dehi samudbhavan janmamritu jara dukhi vimuktaha amrutam ashnute. So here he very clearly highlighted these two verses that Jnanam is the only means for gunatita. To become gunatita, there is no becoming, but still, okay, with the quote. So, to become gunatita, to transcend, to go beyond gunas, there is only means is what? Is jnanam. So, when it has been talked that only jnanam is that means, then just after one verse, how can, not next verse, how can he ask the question that, will you please tell me the sadhana to become gunatita? So don't you think there is some type of, confusion in the mind of Arjuna? So there we have to be little bit careful. You have to put the question carefully, or else it will be highly misunderstood. That is how many people take it. And all these so-called bhakti people, they destroy this verse. So here what we say is, we have to look at is, Arjuna knows very well that Jnanam is the means for, or Jnanam is the means to become gunatita. There is no other choice. But what he means sadhana here is that, now what are the means to attain Jnanam by which one become gunatita? This is what he means here. You have to be very careful while putting the question, or else everything goes other way around. Why? I take it little, roundabout and very carefully, because he himself highlights. Let us look at the verse. Saha yaha sevate. So he who worships. Mam cha means me alone. So when he says me alone, not the son of Devaki Nandana, son of Vasudeva, not son of Mr. So-and-so, okay? Not like that. It will not be accepted. So here he says what? He says, look, I am the one, he himself is talking that I am the one who is what? That next verse it will come. Brahmana hi pratisthayam, because that's why I have visualized two verses together, so that's why I am in confusion. So I am the one, so who is the foundation of Saguna Brahma? That will be seen. So now let us see what is me. He says, look, he who worships me alone, how? Avyabhicharena bhakti yogena. So he uses this avyabhicharana, unswearing devotion. Because all our devotion keeps fluctuating. But here he says what? So there is a bhakti yoga. So through the yoga of devotion, that devotion never fluctuates. And that person says, look, kalpate, that person becomes fit. For what? Brahma bhuyaya, the nature of Brahman. So this is a very clue, and of course samatitya, by going beyond what? Etan gunan, these three gunas. So that's why we take it very carefully. It's not bhakti. Bhakti becomes means for jnanam, by jnanam this. Why? Suppose if I have devotion, this is how people talk. So when I have devotion to the Lord, I become a devotee of the Lord. I don't become God. Can you see this point? So I remain a devotee. But here he says, look, what? He says, look, the person attains the nature of Brahman, and that is me. Next verse will be talking. So that means the person who worships me becomes me. So this shows very carefully, highlights that we need what? This abhivicharini bhakti. What is that? We have discussed many things, because starting from chapter number 7, 7th chapter we have discussed in details, 12th chapter also we have discussed. I hope you remember. So in short, we discussed one point, let me say. We divided bhakti into 5 categories. I don't have time to elaborate everything, okay? I hope you remember everything. If you don't remember, quickly I can say, so that it becomes easier for you people, okay? So we divided bhakti into 5 categories. And these 5 categories put together, they are the means, and that only leads to jnana. So what are they? The first one is karma. So karma yoga. So through karma yoga, what is being taken care? Malam, impurities. I hope you remember very carefully. Then second one is called upasana. So through upasana, puja and meditation, all these things. Through that it takes care of what? Vikshepa, the agitation, the restlessness of the mind taken care. So this is the 2 first. Then once these 2 there, then third one is what? Part of the bhakti is called Shravanam. Because you have to do Guru Mukhena Shravanam. Because in Shravana there is a lot of devotion. Without devotion there is no Shravana. Intellectually you cannot do. This is not possible. It is not acceptable either. So that's why when you look at intellectually this text, intellectually a person, like I remember in Chennai, one person will come, because he was a scientist in America, in NASA and whatnot. He'll say, my comrade Swami. So when I see from a distance, okay, I have to escape somehow or other. Say, how this comrade? Oh, Swamiji is my friend. It doesn't work, okay? However, so Sravanam takes care of what? Ajnana nivruti, in short, quickly. So it removes the ignorance, the covering that I have, that is being removed by Shravanam. Then the 4th one is what? Mananam. So Mananam is what? Mananam takes care. Mananam is reflecting the teaching. So Mananam is something that takes care of Dvanda Nivruti. So Dvanda Nivruti means always there is a confusion, in dilemma. So what is the dilemma? Whether Shastra or the Guru, whatever says is right, or what I experience, or what my Vasana says, or what my experience says is right, or what people says right, or my own people says that too, okay, right. So always there is a conflict. So I always go through this conflict. So that conflict is being taken care of by Mananam. When you start dwelling upon more and more teaching, definitely this dvanda, this confusion, this dilemma will not exist. So dvanda nivrutti takes place through the Mananam. Then finally comes Nitidhyasanam. So when you start dwelling upon assimilating the teaching continuously, that takes care of what? Called vasana nivruti. So the habitual error that I have, that I overcome. So these 5 put together, we had discussed in details, especially in 12th chapter, called Ananya Bhakti. There we discussed, okay? Only the bhakti will be unfluctuated, or else what will happen? Today I said, in Italian language, amore, then what? Amara. So here, I love you, Puju Swamiji used to say very nicely, I love you. Then later on what? I allow you. So this is Puju Swami's statement, okay? So, because as long as, yes, then later on, no, N-O, okay, not K-N-O-W, okay. So no. So coming to the point. So when this happens, so we have to see this Ananya Bhakti. So that Ananya Bhakti is being highlighted here as Avyabhicharini Bhakti. So Avyabhicharina, then only it will not fluctuate. So that means what? Sah Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate iti. So that person what? Is eligible to become one with Brahman. It is not like, how this imaginary story was being created. We all believed from the childhood. Like, for example, the best example is being talked about this bhakti, the moment of bhakti by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what happened? So, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpade, from this verse, okay? Please understand. So when Brahma is what? Jagannatham. So what he did? So he merged, when he went there, he merged with Jagannath. Gods. Okay, I understand if he merged in Jagannath, it's wrong propaganda. If he merged in Jagannath, fantastic. But nobody asked the silly fundamental question. That is what? Lord Jagannath is called Prabhu, but he becomes a Mahaprabhu. He is greater than Prabhu. So, can you see the contradiction? So, everywhere you can see the contradiction. He never merged. There is a lot of stories behind it. Let us not get into conflict. So, from this verse, see the Bhakti Yoga to highlight. So, Lord Jagannath is Brahma. So, the founder of, let us say, the one who created Bhakti movement, one of the person, actually it was being, for your kind information, Bhakti movement was not created by Chaitanya Prabhu, Chaitanya. It was being created by, called Radharamana Deva. Radharamana Deva put Chaitanya into high pedestal. That you have to remember. It's exactly like the relationship between Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Today Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is known all over the world. Not because of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Because of Swami Vivekananda. Please understand. I am not here to say that whether Swami Vivekananda was great or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was great. That's not my question here. Today, because somebody made this statement recently in Odisha, in ISKCON, about Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, there's a big mess going on in Odisha. That's why I am very careful while making this statement, okay? Truth is the truth. Whatever that person has said, truth. But I cannot claim that is his point. What I am highlighting here is that, so Swami Vivekananda made Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as a great. So also Radharamana Deva made Chaitanya as Mahaprabhu. And that is how the Bhakti movement started. So, but he put all these things, gave credit to him. So what I am saying is how this verse can mislead, and when a big cult, big issue, big thing is happening, but people are getting benefited, that's enough for us, okay? Please don't. There are many people, imagine if this cult is not there, if this is not there, we would have gone crazy by this time, okay? So thank God it is continuing and it should continue. We must respect. But at the same time, we must know the truth. However, saying this thing that here when a person goes through or has this 5, let us say sadhanas, these 5 things put together, the bhakti will not fluctuate. Or else what will happen? Today I worship. Let us say, very nicely they say, they start with First they worship, those who don't believe anything, first they worship the Lord Shiva. Because for Lord Shiva you don't need anything. Okay, pour some water, if you don't pour water also is okay. So there is no rule, nothing. No, in India especially there is no caste system, nothing. In North India that too, nothing is required. So stone you can keep it any stone anywhere. If nothing is there, you can make a, one of the best auspicious thing is, especially month of Shravana, like you can make clay Shivalingam. And if you know technically, you can do Avahana, Prana Pratishtha and do all this, and then after that again you ask that go. That is one of the most auspicious things and you can get many things. In fact, Ravana used to do that, okay? So Ravana every day used to do this, with the clay he used to, because he is one of the most important devotee, was a devotee of Lord Shiva. However, let us not get into too much. So they start with Lord Shiva because very easy. Then after that somebody say, Shiva is not enough, so add Parvati. So Parvati gets in. Then after Parvati gets in, hey, what is this? Without Ganesha, Agra Puja, nothing will happen. So please add Ganesha. Look, you have taken care of Ganesha. It doesn't look nice. Kartik is always unwanted side. It doesn't look nice. So this name itself is not good. So please bring, because family is not complete. So now Kartik comes in. Only Kartik is not enough. So if you are now South Indian, so what? Kartik has 2 wives, so also bring them. So if you are North Indian, Ganesha has got 2 wives, Siddhi Riddhi, bring them. Everything is good, fantastic. But remember, if you don't bring Lakshmi, it's not complete. Because money. Without money, how can you survive? Lakshmi should be there somewhere or other. So Lakshmi has to. Lakshmi alone doesn't look nice. And that too, most of the time, Lakshmi is standing in photo. Because coin has to fall, okay, or sitting, whatever. Coin has to fall from her hand. So Lakshmi alone is not enough. So what you do? Add Vishnu. Because both of them are together. It doesn't look nice. So Vishnu comes in, then everything is fantastic, but there is some drushti. When all the gods and goddesses are there, where from drushti comes, you understand? And what else you do it. Everything is fantastic, but Hanuman should be there because I am afraid of many things. So fear of my neighbor, fear of my past, fear of my memory, fear of this, that. Hanuman takes care of the fear. So Hanuman should be there. Once Hanuman comes, wherever Hanuman is there, Rama has to be there. Without Rama, Hanuman is not complete. So bring Rama. Then what happens? You know better. So in short, this is called common people bhakti. That's why some people in the name of bhakti, whether Rama to be chanted or Krishna to be chanted is a big question mark. You have to understand. Like, for example, let us say Krishna moment people, they will start with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By mistake also they cannot chant with Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Impossible. Even if, like how Valmiki started, this is what, Mora, because he could not chant Rama, but he started with Mora, became Rama. Because it is a circle. This common logic these people don't have, so fanatic. Because for them Krishna is 16 kalas, whereas Rama is not that. So that's why Krishna is better. That is called bhakti. So that's why they will start Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, iti. You have to understand the trick where they go wrong, how they go wrong. However, that's not our point again. So this abhyabhicharini bhakti, unfluctuated. So I must not fluctuate. That's the most important thing. It's because my maturity completely depends upon what? When I don't fluctuate. That's why they say, people very nicely say, if you want to see a person, the true color of a person, observe the person in 2 stages. One is when he doesn't have anything. Or I would rather say, put the person into trouble, into the difficulties. So when you put a person into the difficulties, you will see his or her true color. Whatever is there, the instinct will come out. There the person cannot pretend. And second thing is also when the person is having all sort of prosperity. You will see that person's unchallenged person, that time you will see his true color. So here also same thing happens with reference to bhakti. So when you are being challenged, when you are being put in trouble, what happens? So instead of holding to the Lord, what happens? You throw it. Everybody is not Markandeya, remember. So when Markandeya was in trouble, he was holding on to Lord Shiva. Everybody is not Markandeya at all. At the same time, everybody also not like, great people like Vasishtadi. So here, to have all Vyabhicharini Bhakti, I need to go through this pipe. Then what happens? Let us read the next verse. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasaikantikasya cha. Says beautifully, aham hi pratishtha. So what does that mean? I am indeed the basis. Basis of what? Basis of obviousya, that which is changeless. And amrutasya, that which is immortal. And what is that? Brahmanaha. So Brahmana means we can take it here, Saguna Brahma, not Nirguna Brahma. So I am the, let us say, I am indeed the basis of changeless, immortal, Saguna Brahman. And what is that? He says, look, that is called Saswatasya Dharmasya. So that is what? The knower of, who is knower of eternal Dharma. Who is the basis of eternal Dharma or knower of eternal Dharma? And what is that? He says, look, that is called Ekantikasya Sukhasya. That indeed is what? Unconditional Ananda, happiness. Basis you can use, or you can say, or that. Because the foundation and that, there is no difference at all. Like, what is the foundation of ocean? So, foundation of ocean is water. And of course, ocean is water or not? Is there any difference? It's not like building, okay? Foundation and building are different. So, here the foundation itself is the content. So here he uses this word, look very nicely. I am not here, one has to be looking at very carefully. That Krishna is not son of Vasudeva that is being taught. Here is the Brahman. And whoever is having this unfluctuated devotion. So that means without any shut up doubts. So free from all sort of doubts. And that only can happen when I go through these 5 stages. Or else what will happen? I will have devotion. Like as we also are devoted, especially all are devoted to one's own immediate boss. How long? As long as that fellow or fellow gives a good rating, or at least gives you holiday whenever, leave whenever you want. My boss is great, inspiring, very nice. How long? You know better. I am not bringing, okay, real boss, immediate boss, okay? I don't bring them, okay? Please understand, you know better. So let me keep the problem outside. Don't let me not bring to the home. Anyway, however. So that's why one has to be very careful. So here devotion can fluctuate. That's why you can see these different types of people go to the temples, different type of people go to the churches in the name of, called devotion. And of course, different type of people go to the mosque and everywhere, you know better. Say these are not devotion, we call as diversion. They are not devotees, they are called devotees. They get one excuse to divert their mind. That's all, nothing else. Good. At least, they are doing something good, nothing wrong in it. At least they are not doing bad, okay, that moment. So here what is being highlighted here is, see this ekantikasya sukha, that we need to see little bit stretched, so that I was thinking to summarize today. I don't think we have time much. So here it says, look, ekantikasya sukha means dukkha rahita sukha. So sukham, that which is free from dukkham. Because we all have sukham, not that we don't have sukham. Sukham means happiness, okay? We all have sukham, happiness, no doubt in it. But it is dukkhena saha. Along with the dukkha, it is a package. So sometimes what happens? Life is, dukkha, 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 when between sukham. Then dukkha, 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 sukham. Dukkam, dukkam, sukham, like that. You understand? And as you start proceeding, you will discover dukkham will be reduced, sukham will be increased. That is how supposed to be. Suppose you discover, no, your dukkham increases, sukham increases together, that means something is wrong with you, okay? Seriously. Or suppose, Swamiji, day by day dukkham is increasing. That means you are becoming more and more arrogant. So be careful. The rule is that sukham must increase, dukkham must reduce. In fact, there is nothing called sukham or dukkham. When the identification becomes, inactive, submissive, automatically dukkham drops. So when dukkham drops, automatically what happens? Sukham appears, pops up. The happiness is always there. Remember, to become unhappy, you have to do many things. But to become happy, do you need to do anything? Just try. But unfortunately, we are taught, where from this came, from which religion, especially Christianity started spreading this. To become happy, we have to do many things. That is how they injected in the education system. So we don't have to do anything to become happy. But to become unhappy, we have to do something. If nothing to do, at least I have to think of my past, okay? Or I have to think of my in-laws. See, at least I have to think of something. You understand what I am trying to highlight? If nothing to do. Whereas to become happy, whenever you are happy, have you done anything? You are excited. Please understand. You do many things to get excited. Excitement is not happiness. You have to be very careful. To get excited, you may have to do something. But to become happy, you don't have to do anything. So that is what is being highlighted. Ekantikasya sukha means completely dukkha rahitam. And that is what me, that is what my nature. And that's why it's Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So with this chapter called 14th chapter called Guna Traya Vibhaga Yoga. So that means what? This title, yoga means here what? Title, okay? Don't say yoga is another type of yoga, okay? Oh, Swamiji, that is called Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, okay? So like Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, this yoga, that yoga. So this is called Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Then Visada Yoga is there. In fact, there are people to teach, okay, how to get into Visadam, okay? Depression. Visada means depression, don't forget, okay? So here it says, look, so this is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. That means what? Where the three gunas were being classified. So that's why we say also Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, Gunatita also. Gunatraya, Gunatita. That's why also how to go beyond these three gunas. So this chapter named. And of course, quickly tomorrow is Saturday. So in the next class, if you all want, we will summarize this chapter. Then after summarizing, we'll get into 15th chapter. Why and how, as all of you know better. We are now in the last Shatakam. So this Shatakam highlights what? This Shatakam highlights Jnanam. So when it highlights Jnanam, especially 13, 14 and 15, these three chapters, is the central theme of Jnanam, the knowledge. The Upanishadic teachings are being jam-packed in these three chapters that we are seeing. From 13, how the approach, how the 14th chapter now completely different, because learning to accept, we'll be seeing this summary to next class. And when these three chapters are crucial, so that's why the person also need to develop, need to, become fit or eligible to understand this. And of course, later on, 16th, 17th chapter related to Jnanam will be talked. So what are the other things that are related to Jnanam, the knowledge? So that's why this chapter being important, I think we have done a good justice. We have done a justice. So let us see in the next class, please. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.